Shock is about something that someone is not prepared for. It's something that all of a sudden happens and it shocks the body, it shocks the mind, it shocks the system. When someone's not prepared and something suddenly comes up, it causes an indelible imprint on the person's mind and feeling, has this powerful emotional impact and can have devastating effects. It's like this shock stays stored in the body, it stays stored in the DNA, stored in the cells. So this correction, shock correction, identifies which type of shock. As if you look in your guide, you can see there's 12 types of shock you can choose from. You'll test to see which shock you are referring to. Some of them are toxic shock, some of them are emotional shocks, and there's one neurogenic shock. Some of them are shocks in the nervous system, blood and sugar content shock, when the body is shocked with certain levels of sugar and so forth. So obstructive shock, something gets stuck. So what you do in this is identify which type of shock the person has been affected, and then you insert that word in the shock clearing statements. And in the correction, it tells you when the client says something and when you say something. And this will find out what sort of shock and also when it occurred. So it will hone in, get the specifics for it to be brought out of the body. Very powerful for releasing these shocks in the body, because they seriously have a profound impact because of the emotional charge that it has on a person. Very powerful. After the client can have this peace, it can have this calm. It's like the chest starts to loosen up. This calmness and all the muscles occur. This peace, instead of them working or living their life in fight or flight, which is in stress mode, survival mode, this calmness can come over them. So it takes out that adrenaline rush that's always running in their body and brings peace. Okay, for shock healing correction, we test for one term from the shock scan list. So you have 12 options there, and they're words like electric shock, hypovolemic shock, all the descriptions of what they are in the guide. Septic shock, which is poisoning, toxic, again, toxicity. So let's look and see which one applies to Maria. Okay, so it's come up post-traumatic stress disorder, like it's an aftershock problem. And that's come up for Maria, and that's the first thing we test for which one it will be applicable. Next is IDA. So Maria is 57, so 57, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 9, 8. So get a change at 8. Okay, now do you recall anything at age 8?
Yes, around that time I escaped from home.
Okay, so you escaped from home at around 8.
Yes.
All right, let's now, once you've got the term, you've got the age, we now repeat the shock healing statements. And I say to the client, repeat after me. So that's when they know it's their turn. So Maria, repeat after me. I, Maria, choose to safely release.
I, Maria, I choose to safely release
the post-traumatic stress disorder in my DNA related to the age 8. Then it says practitioner says, so that's me. So now I just start talking to the client. Imagine seeing and feeling your burdens lifted and white healing light purify and wash over your entire body. You can put the arm down. You don't need the arm as you're talking. You only need to test right at the end. So you can put their arm down so they can rest it. Visualize and feel this healing energy release shock and for healing to flow through every cell. Connect to the feeling of inner peace and love for yourself. And you can often feel the energy of that as you talk to your client. Now it says, client says, so I say to the client, repeat after me. I, Maria, choose to reconnect.
I, Maria, choose to
to Universal Source.
To Universal Source.
And allow my divine essence.
And what?
Allow my divine essence.
Allow my
divine essence to expand and flourish.
To expand and flourish.
It is my gift.
It is my gift.
To be and live in my power. To be
and live in my power.
And live in my power. And now I need an energy shift. And there it goes. Okay, so once that's complete, it then says step 4 is apply the aura cleanse correction. These healing corrections are in the healing corrections in your protocol. And this one is aura cleanse correction. And that's where you take an oil. I have 12 oils here. I have many oils. And I often just choose one. I think, which ones would work for this one? Because they've got words like clarity and transformation and passion. And I think I'll use the one called balance. You can use any oil, lavender oil. Again, they're contraindicated, which means they're not used for people that are pregnant. And I just rub my hands, and now I cleanse the aura in 3 levels. I begin with just above the body, place my hands and over the arms. This is quite close to the body, and then down the rest of the body. Then I do the next level up. It's up and down another 15 centimeters. It's another level of the auric field over the arms, again over her body, and I move my hands down towards the feet. And then the last level, which is higher up again, over the arms and over the body and down to the feet. I felt that one. And then it says energy shift needed for completion. So I just check to see that that is complete. And there it goes. Emotional trauma has long-term effects on people. It is something that changes how they view life. It changes how they relate to people. It is often said that people in depression become very selfish because they are turned inwards because they're so consumed by their emotions, consumed by their sadness, consumed by all the negativity, that they don't actually see what's outside of themselves. So emotional trauma, most people have had or do have to varying degrees. So healing the emotional trauma has a profound effect on how people relate to others, how they deal with stress in their lives, how they go forward and take calculated risks, and how they make the most of their life. So taking out and releasing trauma and stress will help your client profoundly and bring about different outcomes in their life. Now, there's many side effects from emotional trauma, and sometimes people do terrible things when they've been under a lot of stress and a lot of pain. That pain can often be inflicted on other people. They can hurt other people. And so it's all consuming. It's this vicious circle that can happen when someone is in has emotional trauma that they haven't healed from. So the symptoms are also physical. They may not sleep. They may have nightmares. They may have high blood pressure and feel low self-worth, and as I said, depression. Physical symptoms such as stomach pains and indigestion, asthma, all sorts. That is because day in, day out, they hold this emotional stress in their body. It can tighten up the jaw and the meridians stop flowing, and then this starts to affect physically the body. So bringing calm and peace to somebody who's suffered emotional trauma changes so many facets of their health. It's unbelievable. So what this correction will be doing is shifting and healing those fears and traumas and stresses. Now the corrections has got some new healing corrections in it for healing, for the emotional trauma healing. There will be a timeline infusion correction, which I will show you when I demonstrate this correction. This is also one of the new corrections under healing corrections. There's another one, which is recreation healing correction for this one as well. This is also in your healing corrections at the end of the video, so you will see how that's done again. So these two corrections will be demonstrated a few times because they are so powerful. And when we do the emotional trauma healing, it'll encompass a few corrections in it, which I will demonstrate after this section. Okay, this is emotional trauma healing. So we begin with finding out when was the trauma for the client. So I can ID age, so maintain the arm, 57, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 9. It's gone back to age 8. So looking at age 8, and that was when you escaped from home, you said. There's a lot of trauma going on there. Okay. So when you think about that time, what stress does it feel for you out of 10? 10 is high, 0 is none. Does it feel any stress still in your body?
No, yes, I think it was 10.
It's a 10. Is it a 10 now when you think of it?
Not exactly.
Okay, what would it be now? So it used to be a 10, but I know you've had some healing. Let's look at it. Yes. What's remaining? Is it a 3? Is it a 2? Is it what number?
Maybe about 5.
It's 5, so it's half. Okay, so this will be good. So let's see if we can get that down any further. So we'll rate it out of 10. She says 5 out of 10. We ask her what occurred. She remembered that it was a time when she ran away from home and the family didn't care for her. And this is where we find out also Maria's VARC style, whether she's visual, whether she's auditory, whether she's kinesthetic. So how do you relate to energy? Do you see it? Do you feel it? Or do you hear?
Feel it and often see it.
Often see it.
Yes.
And so are you quite a visual person then? When you describe something, will you describe how you feel and how you see things?
Yes.
All right, so we need to relate to Maria as in feeling and seeing, because that she can relate to. If we said hear certain things, it may not relate, she may not connect to that as much. All right, so then we're going to now apply timeline infusion correction. Again, this is in the healing corrections in the protocol, and this one is from there, and it's called timeline fusion correction. This is where we go back in time, and it will be as the eyes take in what happens around us, it takes in all our stress. It's like this photographic recording inside our brain. We go back and we find all the negative recordings. So we're going to be taking all those negative recordings of Maria back when she was 8, and we're going to take them, identify them, and then we're going to heal them. And I'll talk you through this correction. So if you just look to the ceiling, almost directly above, about that area there, just look above. My fingers need to be in your peripheral vision, which means you can just kind of feel that they're there. You can kind of get a sense. Yes. And I get at the side of the eyes, and then I slowly bring my hands in a semicircle close to her navel, and this is collecting all the negative data, all of the trauma and stress, and I can feel it coming through. And then I connect it up, and then I go back the opposite direction and apply healing for those traumatic situations, and I bring it back to the side of Maria's eyes. Now I go in another semicircle, sort of just to about the forehead area, and that is healing the future stresses and traumas that may have been programmed that from her past. It's like clearing the past so we clear the future. Now we apply healing on that. So she sees the future in a different way. Now I come back to the original position and then I bring my fingers together. It's activating her energy to bring her back to her source, reconnect her, Maria, back to who she's meant to be. And then I touch and then I just bring my hands out. It's like reconnecting Maria because she disconnects in the trauma and the stress. Called timeline infusion. And now we're going to do recreation healing, which is again at the end of in the protocol. And I talk Maria through the healing. So in the recreation healing, it says ID, age, we've already done that. And then I just complete statements. So it'll identify what I'm meant to say and what the client says. So it says, practitioner says, go back in time when the trauma or stress occurred. So that's about 8. What was it that you were feeling? What were you seeing? What was it that you needed? So go back. What did you need back then, Maria?
At that time I felt very lonely.
So you needed some love?
And yes. My parents was always very busy and I just missed very much the closeness.
Okay. So you needed affection, you needed appreciation, you needed to feel valued.
Because I have 3 brothers, so it's like they was very different. I couldn't find at home any place where.
All right, so you are now going to give to yourself the healing that you needed at that time. Take yourself now from your current age, which is 57, and go back to that time when you're 8. Tell Maria, who was 8, that you understand her and you know how she felt. So imagine seeing and feeling yourself going back to that little girl.
Yes.
Explain that you are here to give her what she needs. You are here to heal them. Hold her close to you and hug her. Tell her that she is loved. You will take care of her and let your heart heal her pain and suffering. Hold her until she feels the pain and suffering is healed. Here we go. Okay. Now place both hands over your heart center, which is the center of your chest. Begin to pull your awareness in your heart area. Feel a flow of energy channeling through to release the blocks that have caused your heart to tighten or close off. Your heart chakra stands as the center of all energies and unifies your being as a whole. It is the point around which all the energies revolve. The heart chakra allows the expression of unconditional love, compassion, and forgiveness. A clearing of the heart chakra will improve this interaction, improve your healing to your entire body. Take a deep breath. Release all the pain and suffering as you breathe out. Now breathe in love to heal you. You are ready to release the suffering, pain, the fear, the guilt, sorrow, loss, anger, powerlessness, or resentment that has held you back. You are ready to release the emotions that closed your heart. Allow energies of pink warm light wash over you and enter your heart. Let it travel into every cell, every fiber of your being, receiving the love that is given to you freely. The color is a soothing pink. Feel, see yourself drawn into it. Feel and see yourself passing through the walls of this pink mist. Feel and see the mist encase your entire being. Now feel and see the mist change to a vortex of powerful energy surrounding you. You feel it channeling through your heart chakra as it opens your heart ready for healing and allowing yourself to be free from your past. See and feel yourself strong and tall and empowered. See and feel yourself free and ready to move forward. See yourself as love. It is your gift to be and live in your power. So after you've said that, you just check for an energy shift. And I've got it. Also in those statements, it gives you an opportunity to either say the words feel, see, hear, imagine. So use the words that are appropriate for your client's VARC learning style, which I used see and feel. Now we can ask Maria, what number out of 10 does that stress feel back at age 8? Have a think about it and in a loud voice, let us know.
About 3.
It's about a 3?
Yes.
Okay, so we've moved it down 2. So it's just, and that will integrate over some time. That healing will integrate over today and over the next couple of days. Fears and phobias. Most people have some sort of level of fear or maybe some sort of phobia around something. Some are healthy fears, like fearing going down dangerous streets or approaching someone with a knife or something. That is a healthy fear that is good for you. It keeps you safe. So fears, being fearful of some things, keep you safe. However, some people have irrational fears, which means there is no fear. Like I've heard some people are fearful of balloons. Now, there's no obvious fear in that. They're fearful of the bang that they may fearful that when it pops, it makes a noise. So there's something in that person that's triggering something somewhere. And some people are afraid of spiders, snakes, heights. Some people are fearful of swimming in water. Now, these fears often originate somewhere in the subconscious and somewhere in their past. Sometimes it can be past life. Very common is being drowned in past life, and people become fearful in this life. I had a client who was fearful of putting her face, even in the shower, but the water on her face, it just made her fearful. So these fears can be reduced, they can be changed. And some people have phobias, which is it's a phobia that sends them gives them incredible anxiety when they're maybe a phobia about heights. It's just there's something they just can't do. They go into so much fear they can't even function. So addressing this can change their life, because people don't do things out of fear. They don't go forward in their life. The fear and phobia clearing statements, which is the correction for phobias and fears, allows you to identify when the phobia or fear occurred. Now, for instance, if someone was bitten by a dog, then as a child, then they may have this terrible fear or phobia about encountering dogs, and they cross the street to avoid dogs or something. If they see a dog, they go into great anxiety. So the correction allows you to take the client back to that time. You'll find out when it occurred and what it's around, and then do the healing back then, so it's actually like lifted from the body, released from the body, and therefore it doesn't have that impact, that they then don't have that association that's connecting back to the original time or back to that past life. So this will bring, again, much more peace, much more ability for the person to live their life how they should. Instead of living their life in fear of something, they can then go forward. So when you do get to the correction, you ask the client what it is they have a fear about or a phobia about. They will know. There's no scan list for this, because they will know. It's also written in their answer in the client information sheet what it is about. And also in the correction, you will ask the client where it is. I remember when I began doing this correction on a client, and I just started it, and then they go, oh, right in my stomach, just when I was about to say, no, where is it? Where is this fear located? They could feel the pain right in an area in their body. So you'll be identifying where it's stored, where physically stored is this fear or phobia, for it to be lifted from the body. And so the correction is no scan list again. It's just going through the correction as stated. You'll be talking to the client. The client also has a part in this correction. And there's also the feet vibration healing. This is from Principles course. It's where you shake the feet. Very powerful to get the energies moving, to like get enough energy to bring it up to the surface so it can be released. So that one I've included in that as well. And then finishing off with the client saying an affirmation to making sure it's released, making sure everything is being completed in that healing. Okay, next is the fear and phobia clearing. So identify if there is a fear or a phobia. Do you have a fear or a phobia of anything?
Only the water.
Water.
The big water.
So what are you fearful of with water?
It's not exactly I have a fear from this, just mentally I can't feel that, but I can't breathe properly.
When you go underwater?
Yes.
Okay. So there's something with water. All right, so let's work on that one. Now, what is that if you're underwater? What does the fear feel out of 10? 10 is high, 0 is none. What fear or anxiousness?
It's pretty panicking feeling.
Yeah, so
it's
number?
Like a 10.
A 10. All right, so we're on a 10. Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Very strong.
Next is ask the client to state in the positive how they want to feel. So we need to, so you want to feel calm and relaxed when swimming in water. Is that what you'd like to feel?
Yes.
Calm and relaxed. You need to state in a positive. We can't say, well, I want to feel without stress or anxiousness. We look at the positive word because the brain just hears those two words. So you want to feel calm and relaxed and enjoy the water. Okay, so test for ID age. So 57, 50, 40, 30, 20, 15, 10, 9. Going back to 8. Everything at 8. Now, do you recall anything with water around age 8?
Yes, that time my brothers, just for fun at summertime, they pushed me under the water.
Sorry,
They
speak
pushed
up.
me, my brothers,
Yes.
just because about the fun, they pushed me under the water and they
Oh.
hold me there. And
Oh, really?
Yes, and I felt I will die.
Wow, wow. That's very
So that was
stressful.
very
So they
traumatic.
pushed you for
Yes.
fun underwater, held your
Yes.
head under,
Yes,
and you thought you were going to die.
yes.
Wow. Okay, let's work on that then. So next we go to the statements. I want you to say, repeat after me. I, Maria,
I, Maria,
choose to safely release
I choose to
Safely release
release
the fear of water
the fear of water
in my DNA
in my DNA
related to the age of 8.
related to the age of 8.
Okay. Now find the place in your body where the fear or the phobia is located. Where does it feel like it is? Get a sense. Where do you
It
feel?
took place in my stomach.
In your
and,
stomach.
that
And up
area.
here. Okay. All right, so here and here. Imagine seeing and feeling the fear of being underwater drawn out of your body and encased in a circle. Choose to let it go and choose to free yourself from the fear now. See the circle spinning in the air. See it moving around, getting faster and faster till it becomes a blur and explodes and shatters into tiny pieces. Okay, so what I do is I insert the words in the statements when it says the fear of, and I put it in the word swimming or being underwater. The next is apply feet vibration healing. That is where you get the feet and you gently shake them. So I'm going to go do that. I'm out of the video when I do that, but you've learnt that in your principles. It's just a little shake. It gets the energy moving up for the phobia or fear to be released. Now that you are free to feel empowered and feel relaxed around water, connect to the feeling of inner peace and love for yourself. Now repeat after me. I, Maria,
I, Maria,
choose to be free
choose to be free
and to feel empowered
and to feel power
and to feel relaxed around water.
and to feel relaxed
around water.
Around water.
I choose to reconnect
I choose to
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 universal source
the universal source.
and allow my divine essence
I allow my divine essence
to expand and flourish.
to expand and flourish.
It is my gift
It is my gift
to be and live in my power.
to living in my power.
Now I need energy shifts. I need you to keep breathing. And there it goes. Right, great. Now let's look at how that feels. So let's go back to you going underwater, feeling like you're going to go swimming, going underwater. What number, fear or stress does that create? 10 is high, 0 is none.
Now I see myself under the water, very relaxed.
So what number? Very relaxed under the water.
Yes.
So I guess that's a 0.
Yes, exactly.
How long have you had the fear for? Since 8?
50 years.
Right.
Nearly 50.
Don't you love it? So it's like it's been taken out of your body. So I'm happy about that one. Great.